So today we're celebrating the memorial of Mary, Martha, and Lazarus. And today the Lord, He gives us, especially in the gospel, when He speaks about one of the gospels actually, because today we can choose between two gospels. But one of which I think I like the most is the one that Jesus, He goes to visit Mary, Martha, which apparently through the scriptures we see that there was some kind of relationship there with Jesus and those three figures. Also because the other gospel speaks about the burial or the funeral, let's say, of Lazarus, in which one of the sisters asked, "Lord, if you had been here, my brother wouldn't have died." So that's the first gospel. So the one that I prefer, let's say, to comment on is the one where Jesus, He goes to visit those sisters. And we have on one hand the figure of Mary, which is the one that, according to the evangelist, is the one that chooses the best part, that is to be there at the feet and listening to Jesus. And then on the other hand, we have Martha. Martha is the one that is, as the evangelist describes, is worried about so many things, right? And it's a beautiful gospel because I believe that this gospel tells us or shows us Mary as being the one that is the image, let's say, of the mature Christian. That's in my point of view. And then we have Martha, which is not quite there yet. At the end, that is the very reason why at the end the evangelist says, right, that Jesus, He comments on it, and then He says, you worry about so many things, but only one is important, that is the part that Mary has chosen, and she has chosen the best part, which is to be at the feet of Jesus listening. Here we already see again the importance of listening. I usually say in my homilies the importance of listening, which for the Jewish people is the beginning of everything, right? Shema Israel Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema, listen Israel. So Mary, as a good Jewish woman, let's say, she knew that to listen was the beginning of everything. That's why St. Paul says the faith comes from listening. And Mary was there at the feet of Jesus doing what? Listening. There is always this temptation to believe, right? If we are like Martha, which is not bad in itself, because it's not that Martha was evil or doing anything bad. It's just that Mary chose the best part, right? Because here we have the both images, right? Prayer and working, right? Orat and laborat. But of course, always to pray is according to what Jesus says, is the best part, because of course that in order to work, that is the laborat part, because work has to do with love as well. That's why one thing is to do your work with love and another thing is to do your work without love. But in order to do my work with love, first I have to feel loved. And that's the part that Mary chose, that is to be there at the feet of Jesus. So Mary, on the other hand, Martha, on the other hand, was worried about so many things, which is the image of all of us many times, right? That we are worried about so many things. Even this word worry in itself, it's something that I believe connotes, if you want, to a certain extent, lack of faith. Because why do I worry? That's why another gospel, Jesus, why do you worry about tomorrow? Don't worry. So worrying, which is a occupation in advance, preoccupied. So you occupy yourself in advance when it's needlessly, I would say. And that is one of the consequences of having, let's say, little faith, right? Or not faith at all. Because if I do have faith, I do not worry. I am simply there doing what the will of God is, which for Mary, and I believe for Martha too, at that moment, was to be with Jesus. So, but Mary, she chose to be with Jesus, but Martha, she chose to worry, let's say, right? So here, Martha and Mary, they are an image of all of us in many parts of our life. I would say, even for us priests, it's very easy to fall into that temptation of Martha, right? To to be priests, very busy priests. I usually say that we are as busy as we choose to be. That's what I usually say. Now, when people, they ask me to do things, Father, can you do this? Oh, there is always this temptation to say, oh, I'm busy, right? But I am as busy as I want to be, I would say. Because actually, one thing is to be busy under your own will, and another thing is to be busy under God's will, because it's not that God doesn't want you to do anything either. Right? It's not that God doesn't want you to go and do what Martha was doing. Yes, God wants, but at that specific moment, God, the will of God was for both of them to be with Christ. That specific moment. And here, yes, here we have the image of discernment as well. Because how do I know what the will of God is? Discernment. There is no other way of seeing or looking up what the will of God is, finding it out without discernment. So, yes, I believe that this is an invitation for us to be at the feet of Jesus. Many times it's very easy to forget, especially as I was saying as a priest. It's very easy as a priest to fall into so many, busy things, and then at the end to forget what is the essential. Because what is the essential? To be at the feet of Jesus and listening to him. Because when we listen to Christ, to Jesus, what is it that he tells us? That he loves us, that he cares for us. And that's what redimensions our life, if you want. And this is what he wants to tell us. So let us ask the Lord to help us to choose the best part, to be doing what? Listening. And it's so simple, something so simple that is to listen, nothing else. Even in spiritual life, many times we think that we have to do so many things, when actually what is essential is to listen to Jesus. What Cardinal Collins usually says, speak, Lord, your servant is here listening. So very good. This is the part, and this is the best part, that is to be with Christ. Let us ask the Lord to give us that. May God bless you.